Hello and welcome back. So in the previous video, we published the API using the Azure API management portal. And in this video, we are going to test that API using the developer portal, right? So the goal here is that we want to publish the internal APIs using the API management tool, using the API gateway in Azure, right? And then let the developers use that developer portal to consume this API, to integrate these APIs into their systems, right? So we already published the sample API that is going to translate the text into English language. And we published that using the API management tool in Azure. And we also seen that on the developer portal. So now let's go ahead and open the developer portal. So now we are changing the roles and we are becoming developers ourselves, right? So we are the third party developers who wants to use that API, right? So let's go and hop onto the developer portal. So we have the developer portal open in the incognito mode, if you recollect, right? If not, you can, let me close this and let's start from the beginning. So if you go to the overview of your API management screen, that's where you can get the endpoint or the website URL for your developers portal, right? So here is the developer portal URL. I'm going to copy that and I'll open that in an incognito window so that I'm not logged in as an admin, right? If I'm logged in as an admin, then it would give me the editable mode of the developer portal. So let me open that in the incognito window. Let's paste that URL and let's open. So here we have the developer portal, right? And we also want to log in as a developer, right? So that we can access the APIs. So let me go ahead and sign in. I've already created my account as a developer, but you can use just any other email that you own and just create a developer's account, right? So as soon as you register, it will send you a confirmation email. Just go ahead and click on that link in your confirmation email and you would be able to log in as a developer, right? So let me go ahead and log in myself as the developer. There we go. Okay. All right. So I'm logged in as a developer right now, and the goal is to consume the language API, right? So let's go ahead and click on APIs. So there are multiple places I can access these APIs, right? I can click on the Explore API button on the home page. I can click on the APIs in the navigation bar in the menu. I can also go into the products, right? And in the various products, this API has already been added, so I can access it from there, right? So I'm clicking on these APIs in the main navigation bar. That gets me this screen where all of the APIs are listed. And as you can see, there are two APIs. The first one is Eco API, that's the sample API from Azure, right? And the second one is the language API, the one that we published in the previous video, right? So here is the language API, and here is a brief description that we added in the previous video, right? So let's go ahead and click on this API. Okay, so this is the screen where you get all of the details of this API, right? So I'm a developer right now. So as a developer, what I want to know is how many methods are there, right? How many methods are there for me to use, right? So for now, there's only one method. By method, I mean the operations, right? So as you can see, there is one operation that we've added. That's the post operation, and that's going to do the translate text, right? And as you can see, because it's only one operation, it's already open in the center pane. And here is the description that this language API is the collection of APIs that will let developers enrich their text, right? So it's a description of this API. And then this is the operation translate text, and the description of this operation is this API will translate any language text into English, right? This is the endpoint URL, right? Let's go ahead and copy this endpoint URL and let's go to the notepad where we have the endpoint URL from the LogicApp, right? So this is the LogicApp endpoint URL, and here is the new endpoint URL to access the exact same LogicApp API, right? But this one is via the Azure API management portal. So as you can see, this is much more user friendly to work with, right? Let's go back. And so the description of the request body is also here. So basically this is kind of a documentation that otherwise you would have to provide separately to the developer, right? And when you are exchanging documents in the emails, you don't know which one is the latest one most of the time, right? So this is the best way to publish all of your documentation of any APIs, right? So this is very simple one operation API. So there's not much to document, right? But we can still see that it has given us the exact request, a sample JSON request that I can pass. It has given me the API endpoint. It gave me the operation name and everything, right? And not just that, it also allows me to try this API right from the developer portal, right? So let's go ahead and click on this try button. And because we've already logged in as a developer, right? So it has already taken this subscription key and added here for us, right? This is the subscription key, which you can otherwise get by going to your profile. So a developer would go to his profile. So when they sign up for your products and when they log in to their account, right, they would be able to see this primary key and secondary key that they can also use, right? But for us, for right now, because we have already logged in and we are using the inbuilt testing tool, it has already taken the API key from there, right? And you can also see that the body is also populated with the sample text, right? So this is the sample JSON. It has some other language than English, right? And then let's come down, and here, as you can see, because we are trying this from the developer portal, it is on the HTTP mode right now. And you can see that there are all other languages listed here. We'll come back to this portion in a minute, right? Let's scroll down, and here is the HTTP request. So this is going to be the endpoint URL, right? The content type is going to be application JSON. Here is the subscription key, and this is the request body. And let me click on send, and this is going to send this request to that API. Let's see what happens. All right, so we received 200 OK response. That means it was successful. And if we scroll down, we would see that here is the translated text from that API. So we just tested this API right from the developer portal, right? Now let's get back to all of these other languages that's listed here, right? So the beauty of this developer portal is that it automatically generates a sample code for your developers to use, right? So doesn't matter which technology, you don't have to force your developers to use a particular technology. They can use any technology. APIs are technology independent, right? So the developer portal has already generated the sample code for all of these various programming languages. They can use Curl, C#, Java, they can use JavaScript, PHP, Python, Ruby, right? All of these languages, they have the sample code for the developers, right? So let's go ahead and click on Java, for example. So this is the Java code that developers can simply copy and paste into their applications to call this API, right? This is really, really important. Otherwise, a developer would have to write the entire class, they have to add the reference to this API, and they have to do a lot of things in order to call this API. But if you provide them the developer portal, they can simply copy and paste the initial code to get started, right? And it's not just one language. You can see all of the major mainstream languages are covered. Even Python is here, so they can simply copy and paste this Python code, and they can get started to call this API, right? So this is really, really powerful, and this is very helpful to developers, right? So again, let's quickly review. On the developer portal, as a developer, we are logged in right now, and this is the sample JSON, right? And we can try this API, we can send the request, and we can see how this API is going to behave. Now let's go ahead and do the exact same thing from the Postman, right? So this is the developer portal. We want to try this from the Postman. So let's go ahead and open the Postman. Here is the Postman instance, and this is the last request. If you recollect, this is the endpoint directly to the Logic app, right? And we have the sample text here. Let me test this before we go ahead with the new API, right? Let's send this, and there we go. Right? So this is directly sending the request to the Logic app. Now, in order to use this endpoint from the API management tool, let's copy this. Again, this is post method, right? Let me add a new request. This is going to be a post. This is the endpoint URL, and in the header we have 3 items. If you notice here, it's first one is content type, is application JSON. This one is fine, we can leave it as is, and then we have the subscription key, right? So content type is going to be application JSON. Let's add that. Content type is application JSON, and this is the key name for the second header, and this is the value. This is the API key, right? Let's go ahead and copy that. Okay, and now let's go ahead and copy the sample text, sample request body, right? Let's copy this, and let's go to body. This is going to be raw and application JSON. Let's paste this here, okay, and let's go ahead and hit send and exit same thing, right? So as you can see, we are calling the exact same Logic app, but here we're calling it via the API management portal, and here we are calling it directly to the Logic app, right? So the difference is that when you want to publish any API to the outside world, you have much more control when you publish them via the API management tool, right? You can control the throttling, you can control how many times each person or each developer can call your API, you can control the security mechanisms, right? And you can control how your endpoint will look like to the end user, right? So there are a lot of things that get streamlined when you use the API management portal, right? So let's go back to the developer portal. This was the developer portal, and there is one more thing. That's again, there are so many things that has been taken care for the developers by Azure, right? We don't have to do anything, right? As you can see, there's something here. It says the API definitions. This is the API definition, right? But if you want to use this API in some other tool or in some other application, right, and if they require a specific definition language, right, so there are some open standards, right, you can directly download it right from here. So as you can see, it allows you 3 different open standards: Open API 3, that's YAML, Open API 2 and 3 in JSON, and WADL, right? So let's go ahead and quickly click on this Open API 3 standard, right? So as part of the standard of Open API 3, you need a YAML of the API. So let's click on this and let's see what happens. So you can see the YAML has been downloaded for us, and let's open that. And this is the YAML of this API. So if there is a system that only accepts YAML, as part of their API configuration. A developer can simply download the YAML definition of this API, right? If they want WADL, they can simply select this and it would give them the definition in WADL terminologies. Let's go ahead and open this. As you can see, this is the WADL definition of this API, right? So there are a lot of things that has been taken care for the publisher, and there is a lot of things that's already done for the developer as well, right? So using this API management, it streamlines almost every part of your API, right? I hope you're following this, right? And make sure you understand, make sure you do the hands-on exercise on your own, because API management is very important. It's very crucial going forward. Whether you use Azure's API management tool or there are plenty of other API management tools out there, but the basics of API management doesn't change. Almost every tool would allow you to do the exact same functionalities, right? So if you have API management in your resume, that would literally set you apart from the bunch. I know people who work as an API manager, that their full-time job is to do API management, right? And trust me, in the coming days, every organization is going to have thousands of APIs, and they are eventually going to realize that they would need API management at the organization level. And if you are someone who knows API management at the right time, at the right place, right, you would be able to leverage your skills to your benefit. So make sure you follow the steps, make sure you do the hands-on, right? And if you have any questions, go ahead and ask in this Slack channel, right? And I'll see you in the next one. Thank you.